Good evening, I'm Mitch Friedman, and welcome to Mind Over Matter TV, where we like to teach you and show you and help you to explore all different kinds of healing tools, techniques, different modalities, and sometimes even really cool tricks for you to overcome all the obstacles in your life, for you to just feel better, get a sense of well-being and peace, and to reach some of your personal goals. We're going to do that tonight with a really good friend of mine, MacLaren Caukin. So welcome to the show, Ellen.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. This is so exciting because a few months ago, you've probably heard me talk about it on the show. I put together a couple of these really fun Santa Fe Wellness Expos, and my intention was to create a really wonderful sacred space and a unified field, but most importantly was to meet like-minded people that did all kinds of new things that I could also learn about and experiment and explore so that I could feel better myself. And also to bring the community and these practitioners and vendors together. So that was all a really great success, but for me I got to meet some really cool people, and of course, Ellen, you were one of those people.
Thank you.
So it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you about Acutonics, and we talked a little bit about it at the expo, and of course I had to get an experience and see what is this and what's it like, and because we've all heard about acupressure, we've heard about acupuncture, and now we're talking about Acutonics. So they're all working with meridians. You tell us a little bit about how they all work and the difference between what you do and acupuncture.
Yes, well, we are using acupuncture points and acupressure points, but instead of needles or thumbs or fingers, we are using tuning forks. Hence the tonics, because it's sound healing. It's vibrational sound healing, and the tuning forks are sending sound waves into the points on your body, the points and the meridians on your body.
You know, it already sounds good just when you say that it's acupuncture without the needles. I'm sure a lot of people are going, I want to hear more about this, because acupuncture has always worked for me. I've done it a lot, and I've had great results with acupuncture.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems to be long-term, like over a period of time, I start feeling better, great herbs and stuff, but I hate the needles. And so when I heard about this Acutonics and tuning forks, first of all, it made perfect sense to me. Second of all, I was like, yeah, it's going to feel good instead of feeling kind of intense and poked and prodded. So yeah, moving energy. This is all about energy, and it's about frequency. And I loved when I showed up and you had this display. I'm thinking you're going to have this one tuning fork and be pounding it all over. And you had like 20, 30, 40 different tuning forks in different colors. Yeah. And you were talking to me about different planets. Tell us a little bit about the different tones, frequencies, vibrations that you're working with.
Well, the tuning forks are very highly calibrated to planetary frequencies, which were calculated by famous mathematicians and scientists many years ago, Pythagoras, Johannes Kepler. So when you're combining, there's many different tuning forks, and each one creates a different interval when you combine it with another tuning fork. For example, there's an earth tuning fork, and we use a lot of ohms. I grounded you with ohms, which is the true sound of the earth. And when you combine these two together, they make a fifth. But then there's all different intervals that you can make. And Mars and Venus together would make a fifth, which if you put on the body is very balancing. It's yin and yang.
How do you know? Like, I would make up that when you're taught that this is what these tuning forks do, but there must be a lot of intuitive work going on here, of like putting them together, what to use. I mean, how did you know what to use? When I had my session, you had different ones up here and down here, and I could tell by the mess when it was all over that you used a lot of different tuning forks. So how do you know? Yeah,
it's pretty creative. It's pretty intuitive. I do start usually with a protocol. A lot of this is based on Chinese 5-element assessment. And when somebody comes in and explains what's going on with them, I take that into consideration, and I use the intervals on the points or meridians that I think would respond to what's going on with the client. And there, it's infinite what you can do with like the combinations of intervals to points. If you think about all the points on the body with all the pathways, all your organs, your liver meridian, your heart meridian, every meridian you have and the points. And then you have all these tuning forks that you can combine. So a lot of it is what you do learn, and it's a protocol, and a lot of it is intuitive. Your body is talking to me, and you were a treat I told you to work on because you were really responding, and I just kind of knew what you were wanting, what your body was wanting.
It was so, I just have to jump in here because I'm really excited about this, and maybe this will calm me down if I just get to say this right now. It was one of the most amazing sessions I've ever had in terms of, when I went in, I had this really relentless, obnoxious pain in the side of my neck that was this ongoing 24-hour day, like knot, I guess they would call it, or stress. It was like a stress thing in my neck. Couldn't get rid of it. Nothing was really working for me. And all the things that I usually, my tool bag. And we did this session, and just as you were moving this along, the thing I loved about the tuning forks is you could feel the energy moving into your body. So as soon as you would put it in certain places, it felt as if it moved it, like the vibration from whatever was happening with the tuning fork was going into my body and moved it. I could feel it melting down my body. It kind of got stuck right here, and then you did something down by my feet, and it just went right out of my body. It's been almost 2 weeks now, hasn't come back. I feel great. I can move my head. I'm sleeping like a baby. It was amazing.
I love those stories.
It was just, it blew my mind. It really did blow my mind. So Acutonics, yeah. And there was all kinds of cool stuff going on. So can you talk a little bit about that? What's actually going on?
Well,
what are you doing?
Well, in that circumstance, when there's pain like that, it usually needs to be released. And there are combinations of forks. There's intervals and forks that help to release. There are intervals and forks that help to open, which is a lot of times what I'll do first is I'll open up the point and then I'll release. And then there are forks that go in and really get down in there and do some major healing and release. But basically you are sending sound waves into the body, and the body responds to sound because it's, some people say 70%, some people, I've read 90% water. And if you think of a whale in the ocean, how far the sound travels. So it travels through your pathways, your natural pathways in your body, just like it would in water.
Yeah, that's that dancing feeling. Like I really felt like my cells were dancing in my body. Like there was things moving and shifting while we were doing it, which is, for me, and I think I'm sure I'm not alone on this, instant gratification is always a really good thing,
Yes.
Especially when it comes to pain or lack of ease or dis-ease in the body. Instant gratification is always what we're going for. That's why people do drugs and narcotics, and they're going for that quick fix. And I'll tell you, this was the quick fix for me, to have that frequency, those different energies, those vibrations. It's all about sound. We are energy. And pain is stuck energy. Yeah.
And everything vibrates. And it's interesting that you say disease because the cells, every cell in your body resonates. And if it is not harmonizing, harmony and vibration, it's seeking that. All the cells in your body are seeking that harmony in nature.
Right.
And so if they don't have it, it is a disease, and there's disease, and we can help with that with the sound. We can help vibrate it and bring it back to its natural state.
I love that word natural because it felt so natural. I felt like you said, I felt like my body was absorbing, was wanting more, was saying, it was just this big exhale in my body. Like, yeah, this is exactly what I need to move the energy in a way that's long-lasting. We're so hooked on this pain word, and it feels so real when it's in our neck or in our back or in our body. It just feels so real. But really, what I'm getting to understand now is it's just stuck energy.
Yeah, very often
it just needs
it is.
to move, you
Yeah.
know, and i.e. acupuncture works really well because the needles go into the meridians and move the energy, and this is a way to do it without the needles, just like Ellen said. But it was one of the most effective modalities that I've ever used that worked so quick. It blew me away.
Great.
So thank you, yeah.
Well, the needles in acupuncture will stimulate those points, but the tuning forks will go very deep into the body because of the resonation, the resonance that your body does when the water's reacting to the sound.
So if you're using the ohm frequency and put it on my body
Yes.
is absorbing that ohm
Yes.
frequency.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And the Acutonics system was started by two women who were at the Northwest Institute of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, and Donna Carey and Marjorie DeMunk, and they actually are in New Mexico now. But they started it, and they realized that they were acupuncturists, and they were also into sound therapy and sound healing. And they realized that so many of the tuning forks have been used forever, and they're still being used, that so many of them weren't really having the sustenance and the resonance that they were looking for. So they went to manufacturers and really worked hard at getting it so that these are very finely calibrated so that they will go deep into your body and resonate at the right frequency.
I really felt like my body was in tune with the tuning forks. Like whatever you would put it, I would go into that vibration. I would feel it in my body.
Your body is responding to its need for sound and harmony and vibration.
Harmony. I mean,
Yes.
That's such a powerful word, especially when it comes to sound, frequency, vibration, energy, and our bodies. It's just all about being more in harmony.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
I keep talking about how much it helped with this pain in my neck, and that was kind of like a secondary treat for me, because when we started, we were talking about the intake and doing the interview before, and you asked me what I wanted to work on. It was really about fear. It started out with, what's going on the planet right now, and things are really speeded up, and is my house going to burn down, and is this, my friend's going to fall into the ocean? I mean, there's all this fear going on in my life about what's coming, what's next, can I handle it, will I survive it? And it's underlying just about everything that I do, and we worked on that. I feel completely differently. Is this something you can use for emotional stress, for stress in the body, for fear?
Yeah, it's very successful with stress. And stress is a lot about fear. And stress manifests itself in the kidneys and the adrenals, and that's where fear is. And so many people right now are going through the same thing with what's going to happen with the planet, what's going to happen with the money, what's going to happen, with 2012. And
just oil, money. You could just list, the list goes on.
There's fear, there's uncertainty. And by working on kidneys and adrenals, there's a treatment we do that connects those with your heart. And that really seems to take away a lot of the stress as well as give you some motivation to go forward just by working on that.
Well, when we feel better, it's a lot easier to get on with our life,
Yeah, it's very, very successful working with stress, Acutonics.
Cool. So it works with deep pain, works with emotional issues, it works with fear, works with stress. What else?
Well, as my colleague said, we can work on just about anything. I mean, it works on neurological, gastrointestinal, immunological, respiratory conditions. There have been so many case studies that show success with all these things. Panic, anxiety, which is kind of what we were just talking about, OCD, PTSD, big on hormonal issues. Great as acupuncture is. Well, it helps a lot with hot flashing. I've helped a lot of women with that. And
What
they're
about
very
pregnancy?
grateful.
Yeah, I bet. What about pregnancy?
Infertility, it really helps with infertility, yeah.
Oh, because I know
Yeah.
acupuncture. I guess I would make up, true or false, that it would work with just about anything that acupuncture
Well,
would
sure,
work with.
because you're just doing a different stimulation on the same points or meridians that you would be with acupuncture, yeah.